For the 5th consecutive season, the Boston Celtics have compiled the best record in the Eastern Conference. And with the playoffs set to unfold, Boston hopes to utilize today's game as a momentum builder as they focus their sights on recapturing the glory of an NBA World Championship. It has been an exciting season for the Chicago Bulls, highlighted by the extraordinary Michael Jordan, the NBA scoring champion. And today, he will lead Chicago in search of its 50th victory, something the Bulls have not done in 14 years, and something that will bolster their confidence as the playoff grind approaches. The regular season closes out today, with the Celtics confronting a young and determined Bulls team still with things to prove. And welcome to sold-out Chicago Stadium for the final regular season game between the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls. And all eyes will be, as they usually are, on the great Michael Jordan. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. The story of today's game is this. The Boston Celtics, already assured of home court advantage throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs, are looking to get a couple of their injured players well, including Larry Bird, who is not here today. Not so for the Chicago Bulls, because they have a lot more going in this game, because a victory today will tie them with the Atlanta Hawks and, because of a tiebreaker, give them the number 3 position in the playoffs. Cunningham, we can talk about the playoffs, which we will today, but it's a treat to be here to watch Michael Jordan, who scored 59 points a few weeks ago on CBS against Detroit.
And it's a big game for him and his teammates because they want that 50 mark. They want to win 50.
The Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics coming right up here at Chicago Stadium here on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Basketball Association.
Fred Lojas and Fred Roberts start at forward for the Celtics. The rest of their cast in order, and the usual starting 5 for the Chicago Bulls. Mike Mathis and Bernie Fryer are the officials. Larry Bird is at home. He suffered a severe sprained ankle against Chicago at Boston Garden earlier this week. And Chicago has it 49-32, looking for 50. Last year they won 40. What a great jump this team has made in a couple of years.
Doug Collins has to be so pleased the way his team has performed.
And that man in particular, Michael Jordan, coming in with an average of 34.8.
And that's a little different look for the Bulls. Earlier in the year, you did not see Michael Jordan post up as much. For the playoffs, though, we'll see a lot of that.
And he'll be guarding Dennis Johnson, leading the league in steals as Jordan. Johnson knifes through for the basket. 3 games to 2. Fred Roberts and Corzine the rebound to Pippen. Sellers. Blocked by Lojas. Out of bounds, still Chicago ball, but Brad Lojas lurking like a big hawk inside.
And he has that ability to block shots and hit that perimeter jump shot. Here's great hustle getting back defensively.
Hasn't seen much action, but still 4th on the team in block shots. The rookie from Iowa. Dennis Johnson buries one, and it's 6-4. Kevin McHale is suited up but not playing. He's had an injured knee. You always have to worry about his ankle as well. Michael Jordan connects from the corner.
Chicago wants a quick pace even after made field goals by the Celtics.
Parrish on a turnaround.
Concerned about for Doug Collins' ball club with the absence of Bird. Would they come out sharp and aggressive as a team? So far they have. They know the importance of this game.
Michael Jordan hits from outside. Under 8 minutes to go. Lojas fouled inside. Pippen and Sellers were around him. And Scottie Pippen picks up his 2nd personal foul. Game replacing Pippen. And on the line is Lojas.
The young man, no one really thought that much of him coming out of college. Thought he was a nice player. The Celtics saw something in him because in Iowa, they played him on the perimeter. He was the one making the passes or putting the pressure on their full court traps, and he's really shown that he is a versatile player on the court.
Minifield is in the ball game for the Boston Celtics, replacing Danny Ainge. Dennis Johnson hits again, and if they win, they will go against the Houston Rockets. And Chicago Bears linebacker Otis Wilson in the crowd, and he comes to most of the game. Maintains control. Lojas, he's got a good outside shot, and he nails that one.
And Charles, a couple more. He's going to have to come out and play him.
Jordan working against Dennis Johnson. Gets it into Oakley. Bad shoulder and all is fouled inside. The Bulls' record for backup center. 10 of their 14 points have come from their backcourt. Jordan and Vincent. Good pass from Jordan to Corzine. Perfect pass from Michael.
Perfect, good patience. He allowed Corzine to get that good position and found him, threw it to the open hand.
So another tie with 5:35 remaining, first period. Nothing really at stake for the Celtics in this game, as Parrish misses and Jordan gets the rebound. But I would think they would rather not finish the season series 3-3 as Corzine lays it in, and the Bulls are up by 2.
The offense of the Celtics changes drastically with the absence of Larry Bird. Now they're looking to post up Dennis Johnson, which you don't see very much of when Larry Bird's on the court.
Great defense. Getting a piece of it was Jordan. It's knocked away, and it's going to be Boston ball.
Here's Michael Jordan taking the ball on the break, and he's going to find Corzine. Very fortunate that tipped off Dirk Minifield's hands right into Corzine.
They first signaled that it was Boston ball, and they changed the call, and it'll be Chicago's possession. Gilmore may shoulder a bigger burden. Paxson hits for 2.
No question about that.
Everyone's afraid of a team that has one guy who can get hot and take away home court advantage if necessary. That guy is number 23 offensive board, but here's Jordan. Celtics back defensively. Jordan banks it in, and he's got 8 points.
Oh, there's an example that Celtics did a good job getting back. All Jordan did was jump over the defender.
As we said, both Paxsons are in the game. He's missed 2 shots, but it's apparent they want to get him into the offense.
Gilmore looks so much quicker when he's getting the basketball. He's getting it. There's no indecision. He's just missed the 2 shots.
Speaking of missed shots, Gilmore missed the pick and roll from Jordan, and so Celtics have won 10 of their last 13, but they have dropped 3 straight on the road. Minifield with an impressive power drive to the hoop, gets the basket and draws the foul. We're back at Chicago Stadium. Dick Stockton and Billy Cunningham in the final regular season game of the year. And right now, let's go to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. Up in the stands with Jim Paxson, who has 2 players, 2 sons in the game. Who do you root for in games like this, John or Jim?
Got to root for both of them, Pat.
How does that work out?
Well, we hope for a tie and go into overtime.
Now, who's the better player in your mind? They're not listening.
No, I think they are different types of players, Pat. Jimmy is an off guard and John's a point guard, so they play different positions. They both do a very good job at their position.
You're going to be a busy man during the playoffs.
Hope so, yes.
Got that airline mileage, huh?
Yes, I have to do that.
Thank you, Jim, for joining us. Let's go back to Dick.
John was a starter earlier in the season.
One shot, man. One to play.
And then Sam Vincent came on the scene, and he comes off the bench, so it works out well. And Jim Paxson has come on in the trade from Portland for Jerry Seasting and has really given him a good mobile big guard who can hit from outside for Boston.
And moves so well without the basketball and just plays so well within the concept of the Celtics.
Under 2 minutes to go. Gilmore has come out playing aggressive defensively. Right now he's on Michael Jordan. Looping into Oakley on another pick and roll, and Oakley scores, and the Bulls lead by 5.
That was the mismatch. The Celtics switching out on defense, and Minifield ends up with Oakley.
Oakley last touched it, still Celtics ball.
Now right here we see Minifield trying to front Charles Oakley. The Chicago shows great poise and patience to spread the court and find him in an easy 2.
Roberts. Now Lojas. Paxson baseline drive.
Well, reason for that, the gamble defense by Charles Oakley just broke down the Chicago defense.
Jordan has 8 points. Picked up doubles now. Gilmore and Paxson. Good defense by Paxson, except he lost his man. And the first slam dunk of the game by Michael Jordan.
He dunked that over a few Celtics after he beat, well, he was double teamed and had to beat Paxson. Quite a play.
5 for 6 from the field for Jordan, who has 10 points. Minute to go in the opening period. 28-23 Bulls. Victor Corzine got a piece of it. And here comes Jordan in Chicago. Quick double team by Minifield leaves Paxson open off the mark.
Now here's Michael Jordan, the double team coming out with Gilmore and Paxson on him. Gilmore recovers. Now he just takes it all the way home.
Michael Jordan has 10 points to lead the Bulls. They're 1/4 of the way to third in the Eastern Conference. Any player, you play with your mind, you're a great passer. He says, I'm going to miss the
Doing his herky-jerky moves, he's just taking it, looking for what the defense offers.
7-point lead. Paxson is on Jordan, doubled with Minifield. 6 on the shot clock, and Oakley hits. Oakley with 6 points.
Clean lineup. They're going to have to get some offense right there from that man.
Good speed. Cutting to the hoop. Jim Paxson, who has 6 off the bench.
And also look to get out and run and do it at the defensive end of the court. Good defense by Minifield, fighting over two screens.
Paxson tried to deny Jordan, and he is fouled, and fouled hard as he goes to the hoop. Foul is on Gilmore, his second. Granville Waiters comes in replacing Dave Corzine, but everyone always talks about Boston's bench. It has improved this year.
Has improved, and a lot of new faces. Last year, well, this year, Fred Roberts is the only player that was on the bench from last year's ball club. And I think that as we see statistically what the impact is, and I think even more significantly is that the starters have confidence in the bench, and they can go out there and know that they can extend themselves, put a little more energy on the court.
Roberts has been a starter when McHale was out earlier in the year, but Akers and Paxson have contributed, and so has Minifield, and this is a team that is a lot more rested, the Celtics, going into the playoffs than they were a year ago.
Mentally and physically.
Gilmore controls it, 12 on the shot clock. Rebound by Pippen, 4 on 2 Chicago. Pippen to Jordan. You're looking at 2/5 of the Bulls' future. Timeout, Boston.
And here's Scottie Pippen, good bounce pass to Jordan. How many times have we seen that already this year?
And we'll see it some more. 14 for Michael Jordan. Will be fully for next Sunday. Michael Jordan is the scoring leader with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Ball too quickly. He's not squaring up to the basket.
Pippen turn around at the baseline. Scottie, hot start. He cooled down, and it looks like his confidence is back in full form.
Oh, he said it was the worst experience of his life. He had physically, he felt terrible, but now he's feeling pretty good.
Lojas, good move inside. Brad Lojas. Reggie Lewis, the #1 pick out of Northeastern. Fred Roberts comes in replacing Lojas. March, early April, when he hit 70% plus. What do you think? The teams have to finish in a blaze of glory going into the playoffs?
Well, for a young ball club or a team that has a lot of new faces, I think it's important to have that confidence. But a team like the Celtics, I don't think it's very important. I think 2 things, that they're healthy physically and mentally. They'll be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Remember last year, Atlanta looked real strong going into the playoffs, and they eventually fizzled. And Portland in the West, Seattle didn't go in with any great shakes going into postseason, and they upset Dallas in the first round.
Well,
now
last
the Celtics
year
come back. Gets the reverse layup basket, good, and a foul.
Chance for the 3-point play.
Lojas is back in, and so is Michael Jordan for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Pippen fakes with Roberts. Foul on Fred Roberts. Pippen on the line. 42-30. Chicago is in front. Last year, the Bulls with a rebounding edge as well.
Well, that Doug Collins has wanted them to play all year, pushing it down the court to capitalize on their athletic ability.
Akers the rebound. 7 rebounds. He's averaging just under 13 a game. Michael Page at 12.8. Page has Mark Akers. Jordan has led the Bulls in scoring in every game but one. He scored 16 against Golden State in one game. And those people that said, well, the only thing you can say about Jordan is he doesn't play on a winning team. Well, you can't say that anymore.
No, and I wouldn't be looking forward to playing him in the playoffs. Whereas Cleveland, if they win today, they'll play. They split with.
Right. Cleveland's a tougher fight. Lojas hits from outside. That is their longest winning streak of the year. They struggle down the stretch on the road. Ames hits a three-pointer. Danny Ames with the first three-point basket of the ball game. Rebound Oakley. Blocked inside by Reggie Lewis. And here come the Celtics. Will try to cut it to 8. They're playing without Larry Bird, is home, nursing a severe sprained ankle. Lojas hits a jumper, and it's an 8-point game with 3:40 to go. There's our score. We'll be back.
This past Tuesday, they honored Julius Erving in Philadelphia. Another goodbye to Dr. J.
Number 6, captain of the Philadelphia 76ers, Julius the Doctor.
Great to hear Zinkoff's voice again. A 2.5-minute standing ovation. Turquoise was there, a hug from Mama, and just what Julius needed, another automobile. They can't do enough for him, so they retired his number 6, so generations can remember Dr. J. Julius Erving. And Dick and Billy, you were there. It must have been some night.
Well, one of the great electric moments. I know, Billy, you've been in Philadelphia a long time.
Well, it was well deserving, you know, for what he did for the city of Philadelphia and the NBA.
You didn't mind the fact that you got the second biggest ovation there. Jordan going to the hoop.
That was a strong move by Jordan going to the basket, but that was a very nice evening for everybody that was involved.
Someday they're going to retire that number here, you can be sure.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, if you can't get the baskets, you go to the free throw line. That's what Jordan's doing now with 16 points. Foul was by Lewis, his first. Bulls have committed only 2 team fouls with 3:23 remaining in the first half. 39 Chicago, nearing 2.5 to go in the half. And Fred Roberts drives in and scores. Roberts has 5.
Now, Doug Collins has to be concerned. He can't, you know, we're looking at not the Celtics that we'll see next week, but these guys are hanging in there and they're saying, hey, it scares you to death as a coach when you see a couple key players out because motivation for your team.
Ames inside the three-point line. Lewis, and he gets the ball back from Roberts and draws the foul. He was smothered in there by Roberts, but managed to draw the foul, and the crowd appreciates it.
Now look at Jordan, just boop, steps right back into the picture, and now it's going to the foul line and a chance to get 2 more points for himself.
And if he makes both, he'll have 20. Scoring champion in the NBA for the second year in a row. The only Chicago starter at 50%.
Well, he led the league in steals, minutes played. You can go down the list of things he's done, and it's just his contribution and presence on the court for this Bulls team has made all his teammates better.
Count Oakley's rebounds. They'll have put another R up there as Roberts comes right back and hits. Jordan double team and 11 rebounds. Lewis from the corner hits. Reggie Lewis, and a lead pass picked off by Ames with 43 seconds to go. Ames for 3. He's got it. And the Celtics have cut the lead to 9, 59-50. Danny Ainge and Larry Bird have a kind of internal rivalry for the three-point title on the team. Ainge may have clinched it with his one a couple of minutes ago, but he can't afford to miss too many. Otherwise, Larry will be chortling back in Boston.
Well, I'm sure Larry.
And that'll do it for the half. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Chicago Bulls 59, the Boston Celtics 50. Pat O'Brien will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message.
Do you know who the best player in the game is? Me, Mars Blackman. And I'm way above the rim, demonstrating some serious hang time. Very serious. Do you know how I get up for my game? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? That's right. Air Jordan, Air Jordan, Air Jordan. Mike, what's up? Oh, money, why you want to do that to me? Why you leave me hanging? Come on, I got it. Oh, fuck. Mike, man. That's cold, man.
And welcome back to historic Chicago Stadium, where the Bulls are looking for their 50th win. They lead the Celtics 59-50. Earlier this week in New York City, we ordered our expert analysts, Bill Cunningham, Tom Heinsohn, Hubie Brown, and Billy Packer, to give us some straight talk about the playoffs. So here is our At the Half
Let's talk about
roundtable.
Chicago. The Bulls used to be called Michael and the Jordanaires. Now they got some players on there. What do you think of the Bulls?
It's still Michael Jordan and others. And those others better step forward.
Chicago's shooting very well, 54%, and Jordan, a big reason why, on the fast break.
5 seconds on the 24-second mark.
Lohas's shot drops, and Brad Lohas now with 12.
And he's active defensively.
Well, you're looking at part of the Celtic future. Jordan knifes his way in, the basket good, and a foul. So Michael Jordan starts out quickly, has 22 points, and the foul called against Roberts.
Well, you can't go running out at Michael Jordan and expect anything but what just happened there. Michael Jordan getting 2.
Fred Roberts picks up his 3rd foul, and here is Jordan, who has been an 84% shooter from the line. More than halfway now to 40, and when Michael Jordan scores 40 or more points, the Bulls have won 13 of 17 games. Headed for their 18th straight loss, Kansas City Royals lead them 3-1. That is tough.
Poor Frank Robinson.
Roberts hits from outside. Poor Cal Ripken.
That's right. That whole team, that whole organization.
62-54. Celtics trail by 8. Vincent feeding inside, picked off by Lohas. Bullet pass to Ainge, and it's a 6-point game.
And you saw the indecision by Sam Vincent. He didn't know, should I shoot the jump shot? Well, I'll drive to the basket. Oh, I better pass it. Can't play basketball that way.
Lohas. Brad Lohas effective from outside. Showing
East. And now here they are. They've just matured and playing beautiful basketball.
Akers committed the foul, and Jordan drives in, and he will go to the line. Brad Lohas' foul, his 2nd of the game. The Knicks were 14 games better this year than a season ago. That was the best mark in the Eastern Conference.
The thing that impressed me was Rick Pitino and his adjustments with his ball club from the start of the season, just trapping every time they scored, and how they've developed and how they've grown as a team, and his adjustments with that ball club.
24 for Michael Jordan. Now 25 points.
You know, you watch Michael Jordan, the rate he's scoring at. What adjustments will teams make defensively when the playoffs start against him?
Akers against Corzine. Good move inside by Mark Akers.
Well, that's the problem with Corzine. Now we'll see Mark Akers use that head fake and now put it on the floor, and you see the foot movement by Akers and Corzine not able to react.
2nd foul on Corzine, so Mark Akers already with 6 points and 7 rebounds. Now 7 and 7 makes Paxson.
Oh, what a move there. I guess he saw Michael Jordan doing it to him, and he decided, well, I'll show you, Jordan, I can do it too.
The bench is playing well for the Celtics, kept them in the game. Casey Jones has to be extremely pleased with the way they're playing.
Now, see Paxson flashing off the screen by Mark Akers, reading the defense, and then hanging in the air and getting the 2.
Meanwhile, Fred Roberts. Corzine setting a screen for Vincent, picked up on a switch by Lohas, mismatch. Ainge is trying to guard Corzine inside. Now they isolate Jordan. Goes around Paxson. There it is.
What can you say? I mean, the guy beat 3 people on one play for a wide-open layup.
27 for Jordan. Lohas misses, and Akers crashes in for a loose ball foul. That's why it's really, if the game didn't mean anything for either team today, it would be worth the price of admission just to see this man.
Now, there's Jimmy Paxson doing his best defensively. He just slices through 2 more players for an easy deuce.
Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham back at Chicago Stadium, where the Bulls are trying to nail down the 3rd slot in the Eastern Conference and their 50th victory of the season. There were rumors that Larry Bird was indeed in the building and not back home. Huh?
Oh. What is he doing here?
I don't know, but I think he'll hear from Larry when he gets back to Boston.
Well, Wayne and Larry Bird are very good friends, by the way. Obviously working for the Celtics, but friends from way back.
That doesn't mean he won't be ribbed when he gets back to Boston for impersonating number 33. Chicago shooting 86% in the second half to 64. Pretty good shooting percentages for the most part. Michael Jordan. And there were reports, some say premature, of Michael Jordan's new contract. They've had a 15-point lead. Up to 6. Great pass. Line behind the back. No-look pass by Jordan.
Now watch Jordan coming off that screen by Oakley, forcing Paxson to trail and allowing himself to get wide open for the easy dunk.
Lojas. Fake on Corzine, and a good move by Brad Lojas. He has 16 points and 18 to start this 88 American League season. Jordan. Michael Jordan has 30, and we have 5:13 to go in the third. Tipped up and in by Lojas. Brad Lojas making the most of his starting opportunity, has 18 points. Devin McHale sitting this one out. Jordan to Corzine, good position, no basket. And the offensive foul called against Dave Corzine. 3 on Corzine. Jordan picked up his first personal foul, and Jim Paxson hits the free throw. Don't forget, our playoff coverage begins next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. And then a week from today, we'll have doubleheader first-round playoff action for you, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Out battles Corzine for it, and here's Dirk Minifield. Jordan now with Minifield and Akers defending. Oakley. Those two are...
Watching Jordan now reminds me, well, we'll see him right here, this penetration. Look at this pass. You used to do that. I remember back in the schoolyards.
Only in my dreams.
Yes,
Bill.
yes.
Only in my dreams.
But you remember early in the year, you talk about a competitor, and we'll see the competitor right here with the basketball. But earlier in the year, they were playing at a scrimmage, and Doug Collins was keeping score. They were going full court, and Doug said the score was, say, 4-4, and Michael Jordan said, oh, no, we're up 5-4, and he said, no, 4-4, and he got so mad, he walked out of practice.
That'll illustrate what kind of competitor he is, where in a little practice, he's got to get the numbers right.
That's right.
Oakley inside, knocked away. Pippen had the ball stripped. And now Oakley and Akers hit the deck, and a foul is called. Loose ball foul against Charles Oakley.
Do you think Doug Collins keeps score anymore at those practices when they
no.
scrimmage?
Well, on this last day of the season, honors go. What a season. John Stockton of the Utah Jazz set an NBA record for most assists in a season, breaking Isaiah Thomas's mark. Mark Eaton, 4th shot block title in 5 years. Akers makes the free throw.
Playing the Chicago Bulls this half even.
Jordan has it knocked away by Akers. Oakley is there, and the whistle. Fryer blows the whistle. We'll have a timeout, but a Boston team where fans have a great time here. The Bulls were second in NBA attendance to the Detroit Pistons, selling out 40 of their 41 home games. Lewis and Lojas definitely are the Boston Celtics' future of the players they have.
Casey Jones says the raw talent. Oh, boy, did he go down.
Minifield now gets up. He recovered in a hurry. That was a hard thump. Paxson tried to force the pass inside.
Now here's Minifield going to the basket, and watch him hit the floor. He runs right into that Charles Oakley. And he just, oh, that hurt just sitting over here. You know the interesting defensive players, shot blockers, rebounders, very similarities.
And Dirk Minifield on the drive. 10-point. Inside to Lewis from Paxson. He's got one guy we haven't mentioned today is Horace Grant, who is a good-looking rookie in the 10th pick in the draft out of Clemson. He sprained the ankle in the game Friday against Cleveland and hasn't played. But there's another big man who would be formidable in this one.
And he's just gotten better and better as the year has gone on. And he said it's been quite an experience.
Speaking of the experience, Jordan with 32 points. Runner off the rim at the buzzer. And that's the end of the third period with the score. The Bulls 90, the Celtics 78. And we'll return to Chicago Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. And, of course, our playoff action begins next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Next Sunday with a doubleheader start later on. As Kevin McHale, you know that all of the green on the bench right now and back in Boston like Larry Bird will be going full force come next weekend.
And they'll get started tomorrow. No days off.
Scottie Pippen, and he's tied up. Good hustle by Minifield. So Chicago has Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt. Corzine, Pippen, and Sellers up front. Danny Ainge and Minifield are at guard, and Reggie Lewis, Artis Gilmore, and Fred Roberts are up front. Gilmore's played a lot early, and we haven't seen him in a while.
Well, Lohaus was playing very well in the middle, as well as Akers. They did an excellent job in there in that third period.
Michael Jordan with 32 points in the game. Oakley with 22. Now Gilmore and Roberts double team. They leave him open. And he hits. 34 for Michael.
Would you say that's a lack of communication there between two players?
He just didn't have to play against or coach against the Michael Jordan.
I did. His first year.
That's right. That's right.
And we ended up triple teaming him the last game we played against the Bulls his rookie year.
Did you ever have success against him?
Well, we had a pretty good ball club. We had no success against him, but we had pretty good success against the Bulls.
Jordan goes in against Ainge and lays it in. 36 for Michael Jordan. Last time we had him on CBS, 59 points against the Detroit Pistons, and that's the season's high in the NBA this year. And they improved by 14 games this year.
That's the nature of the business.
That's true. Just under 10 minutes remaining. It's 94-82, a 12-point game. Corzine over Gilmore. Reggie Lewis the rebound.
Down with the basketball. And people would have a little fear of him. He's such a soft-spoken, gentle man.
Paxson couldn't beat the double by missing the jumper.
Which direction it's going to be coming off that rim or backcourt?
The lead is 8 now. Michael Jordan going in. Michael Jordan, 38 points in the game. Every time the Celtics come close, number 23 takes over. Artis Gilmore, 2 terms in Chicago, also with San Antonio. Never won a championship in the NBA. Won one with Kentucky in the ABA, and has a chance with the Boston Celtics now.
If I'm not mistaken, Hubie Brown was the coach then for the Kentucky Colonels when they won that championship.
All right. You have such a great memory of trivia of basketball.
It's scary, isn't it?
It really is. Jordan will go to the line. Jordan could go for 40 points if he makes both. That's what he does when he scores in their record. So, you would think that a lot of times if one player scores a lot of points, their record isn't good. Not so much with Jordan.
And you're exactly right. If you look over the history of players that scored a lot of points, when they did get those big numbers, their teams did not have a great deal of success.
Minifield picked up the foul. Jordan has his 40. And the Bulls are up by 11. Ainge uses a screen from Gilmore to hit. Danny Ainge with 14 points. Lewis goes the lane and gets the layup. And now it's a 98-91 lead, and timeout called by Chicago with plenty of time remaining. 7:34. Collins has to be agonizing out there now.
Oh, and now here's Oakley again with the switch, playing against Minifield, looking to draw the foul, jumping in. No contact. That was a good no call by the official.
So the lead. Right now, let's go to Pat O'Brien. Pat?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. We are downstairs underneath Chicago Stadium in our never-ending effort to tell you everything about the game of basketball. Michael Jordan is so tremendously popular in Chicago. This is how he has to leave the building sometimes, down a hallway underneath the building. He gets mobbed every time he leaves the building. So sometimes he likes just a little bit of privacy and goes out this way like a rock star. The rest of us go out the back door. Let's go upstairs.
All right, Pat. We're going to watch for you to walk out of that exit yourself today here. Michael Jordan has all 8 Bulls points here in this 4th period, but the lead has been cut to 7. Vincent and Jordan with Corzine, Oakley, and Pippen. All reserves in there for the Celtics. Steal by Ainge. Well, he's the only regular starter, and he cuts the lead to 5.
You know, we said it early in the 3rd period. If the Bulls don't put this team away. All they're doing is gaining more and more confidence in themselves, just trying to prove something to the starters.
A 5-second violation was called. Corzine tried to call a timeout, but it was too late, and so the Celtics will inbound by 7. Pippen. Reggie Lewis. Great speed for Lewis. Leaves it for Roberts, who's fouled.
Just something, and Doug Collins feels that this is something that will carry his team into the playoffs.
Roberts hits 1 out of 2. 6-point lead. Celtics pressuring three-quarter now. 5:35 remaining, fourth period.
We see how the tempo is really slowed down. The Bulls, when they're at their best, are out running in the open court. Now the Celtics have control of the tempo.
It's been the green team and Danny Ainge for the most part. Jordan feeding Oakley. And the 24-second buzzer ends Chicago's threat. How many times in a game have you seen that more than once? And we've seen it twice in the last 3 sequences.
In a lot of cases.
Off the screen is Ainge. No basket. Offensive foul called against Boston.
That's a big play because Danny Ainge knocks that jump shot in. Could have cut it to 4.
Reggie Lewis with the foul. 6-point game, and the Celtics had another opportunity to go by the boards. Jordan is, by the way, with 40 points. Steal by Minifield inside. Roberts lays it in. And it's 102-97. A 5-point deficit now.
Now with Jordan with the ball, anytime Gilmore gets a chance, he's coming out and double teaming, which is
the number 5 on Corzine. One more, and he's through.
And now the big problem is with Horace Grant sitting on the bench. Normally, Doug Collins would bring him off the bench to replace Corzine and put Oakley in the middle. Now he's going to have to go with Mike Brown, who has not been playing over the last several weeks. Or does he go with Scotty?
Now, Chicago and Cleveland divided their season series at 3-3. The Bulls do better against the Bucks. He went right through Reggie Lewis, and Michael Jordan has 42 points now.
He showed quickness, jumping ability, and strength on that one move.
Ainge beating Gilmore, and he puts it in.
Now here's Michael Jordan showing that quickness. Now the jumping ability and the strength just powering it over Lewis.
Minifield with his 4th foul. 8 on the shot clock. Steal. Roberts picked it up, and the Celtics now can cut it to 3. Lewis. And it's a 3-point game. Reggie Lewis has 10 points and a timeout called by the Bulls. So if there are any messages given here today, the message is given win or lose, I think, by the Boston Celtics. We'll be back. 106-103, Chicago's lead, and 1.15 has been cut to 3 on CBS beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern. And Michael Jordan with 42 points, but the Bulls' lead has been cut to 3 with just about 2.5 minutes. Ainge with a 2-point. Celtics basically with nothing at stake today. Michael Jordan, fall away, baseline, tough shot. And a big one, 44. In a moment, we want to wish a happy 50th wedding anniversary to Wayne and Rose Rogers today. The parents of Celtics assistant coach Jim Rogers. They're celebrating their day here in Chicago. A big weekend for Jim. Michael Jordan from the baseline. It goes. 46 for Jordan. And a 7-point lead. That may do it.
And you know, in the timeout, Casey Jones was saying, hey, we know where they're going with the basketball to Jordan. They still were able to get it to him, and he converted.
It's not too early to tell you that our Miller Lite player of the game is none other than Michael Jordan. 46 points, 16 of 24 from the field, 14 of 15 from the line, 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Society on behalf of Michael Jordan. In his last 2 appearances on CBS, he has scored 59 and 46 points. It's 105 total, and this one's not over yet.
Well, the reason he's off today is he's just getting over a stomach virus. So that's the reason for that.
Ainge, he does have that stomach virus. You're right about that. You never know it the way he's playing. I think it's going to be an exciting playoffs coming up, Billy Cunningham. I don't remember if ever 8 teams won 50 or more games in a season. There are a lot of threats out there in both conferences.
And, you know, and you look in the West, except for San Antonio, you have all the other teams have won over 45 games in the West. And that tells you something, that the West is going to be a lot tougher for the Lakers this year.
Michael Jordan with 46 points. The Bulls were 40 and 42 a year ago. They're 50 and 32 this time around. Final seconds tick off, and the Bulls will beat the Celtics in even their season series and hope they meet again. And Doug Collins will send the Chicago Bulls into the playoffs on a high note.